here we've got that 631 base x divided by 100 base 2 is equal to 79, and this is implicitly base 10. Now, to make things simpler, and we have to solve for x. Now, to make things simpler, let's convert this to base 10. We've got that 102 is just equal to 0 times 2 to the 0, this last 0, plus 0 times 2 to the 1, the second last 0, plus 1 times by 2 to the power 2, which is just 4. Okay, after working with base 2 enough times, you will know immediately this is just 4 in base 10. And then I can take this 4 to the other side, and we get that 631x is, okay, this is just 320 minus 4, which is just 316. And now what we just have to do is find x. Now, I overheard you guys working on this problem, and basically what you did was you tried various values of x until you found the solution. And if you can do it like that, then what you can do is you can say, okay, we know it's either x is 7, 8, or 9, and then you can just give one of you to do 7, one of you to do 8, and one of you to do 9. And also I heard that you were trying to convert this number to the various bases, and I'll go into a tangent a little bit later how to do that. But there is a quite easy way to do this. Instead of trying to convert this into base x, I can convert this into base 10. This 631x is just 6 times x squared plus 3 times x plus 1, which is supposed to be equal to 316, and this is just a quadratic. Now, I'm a bit lazy to solve this quadratic, so what I can just do is say 6x squared is approximately 300, which means that x squared is approximately 50, which would mean that x is approximately 7, and then I can plug in 7 back into this and check if it works. Okay, I'm going to just go on about a 4-minute tangent on 2 ways to convert this number into base 8. Then, how do we convert this into, let's say, base 8? If we want to write it as ABC in base 8, then this means that this is 8 times by 8 squared plus b times by 8 plus c. Now, there are 2 ways to go about this. One way is we start at the back and work out c, then b, then a, and another way is to start at the front, working out a, b, c. Let's start at the way at the back. You see that this part over here is a multiple of 8, and this is smaller than 8. So this is just the remainder that I get when I divide this by 8. Okay, this over here is just 320 minus 4. So when I divide by 8, we will get that it's 4. Then I'll just fill this in. So we get 316 is just a8 squared plus b8 plus 4. Taking the 4 to the other side, we get 312 is, let's put this in front, 8b. Dividing right through by 8, this will just be 39 is 8a plus b. And again, we've got this is a multiple of 8. This must be smaller than 8. So there'll be the remainder when this is divided by 8. 39 is just equal to 32 plus 7. So that means b is 7. Plugging that in, we get 39 is 8a plus 7. We get 32 is 8a. therefore A is equal to 4. So 316 is 474 in base 8. The way to do this is to start from the front. Basically what we do is we see how many times this 8 squared go into that, and that will be our value of A. I'm going to explain why that works. I can divide both sides by 8 squared and I get 316 over 8 squared is just A plus 8B plus C divided by 8 squared. This part will always be a fraction. This will be an integer. This over here, when I divide this by 8 squared, in other words 64, you can just count that 64 goes in 4 times with some sort of remainder. And that means that 4 must be equal to A. Then once you've got that 4 is A, we can just place it in there, take it out of the side, and we get 256 is equal to 8B plus C. This simplifies down to 40 equals 8B plus C. Then I repeat the same idea. I see how many times does 8 go into this. 8 goes 4 times. So we get that this is going to be 8 times by 4 plus C. Then I take this to the other side. Oh no, something went wrong. This should be 60. Okay. Then how many times does 8 go into that? It goes in 7 times. Then taking this to the other side, we get 4 left. So the value of C is 4. And that's the exact same answer as that one. On the next question, we've got these two equations. And they ask us to find the average of x, y, and z. In other words, just find x plus y plus z divided by 3. Now for this, we've only got 2 equations or 2 constraints. So we will never be able to solve for x, y, and z exactly, except in some really weird situations. But for this one, we won't be. So there'll be more than one x, y, and z that satisfy these 2 equations. But it's implied that every single choice of x, y, and z that satisfies these 2 equations would give us the same answer. So there are 2 ways to go about this. One way is we manipulate these 2 equations until we get something that is like a multiple of x plus y plus z, and we can then plug that into this and we get, well, what's the average of these numbers. Another way to do this is we add a random constraint, and the random constraint we can add is, for example, x is 0, and then we can solve for y and z from this, and then we can plug it into there and we get our average. To solve for y and z is going to involve fractions, so I'm not really looking forward to doing that. So let me rather do this. Now, the basic idea is that I need to take a multiple of these 2 equations and add them together. Now, it's just sufficient to take a multiple of the second one and add it to that one. It could be a negative multiple that I could be adding to this. Now, let's just, we could solve for what that multiple is, but it's easy enough to do it brute force. So I'm going to just take 1 times this, add it to that, and see what we get. We then get 14x plus 5y minus 7z. And our goal is to get a multiple of this. In other words, the coefficients of x, y, and z must all be the same. Here we see we're getting further away from the coefficients all being the same. Here this was just 6 more than that. Here this is 9 more than that, and this is becoming more negative, so it's not the right direction. Let's rather take minus 1 times this added to that. Then we'll get 4x, 1y, and minus 3z. Okay, I'm just using a trick that I learned for these type of problems. You don't really have to write out the x, y, and z. That's getting better. Let's take minus 2 times this, add to that. Here we'll get minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. Okay, and let's also look at the coefficients. This will be minus 4 minus 2 times 13, which is going to give us minus 30. So this is minus x minus y minus z. And therefore x plus y plus z is 30 divided by 3 divided by 3, and that's just 10.